This is the case of the Commonwealth of Virginia versus Shotsie Michael Buck-Hayes. Is the Commonwealth ready?
Yes.
Is the defense ready?
Yes, Your
We
Honor.
are, Your Honor. Judge, the Commonwealth asked the court to arraign Mr. Buck-Hayes on CR 25-1073 and CR 25-1074. That's the attempted first-degree murder and the aggravated malicious wounding. I believe he's prepared to enter guilty pleas on that. There's no agreement, no plea agreement as relates to those two charges. Upon the court accepting his pleas on that and the summary of the evidence, at the conclusion, the Commonwealth will move to dismiss on all process to break and entering, Judge.
All right, Mr. Buck-Hayes, if you'll stand and raise your right hand, please, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you give in the case now before the court should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Do you wish to have the indictments read or waive reading?
Waive reading.
Are you, Shotsie Michael Buck-Hayes, the person named in amended indictment 1 charging attempted first-degree murder and an amended indictment number 2 charging aggravated malicious wounding?
Yes, sir.
What's your plea to these charges, sir, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Have you talked with your attorneys about your pleas and have they advised you?
Yes, sir.
You may have a seat. Mr. Buck-Hayes, before the court can accept your pleas of guilty, I have some questions that I need to ask you. If for any reason you do not understand my questions, stop me and I'll be glad to explain them to you. Your attorneys are at your side and you may speak with them before answering any of my questions. If you need additional time to speak with them about a particular question, let me know and we'll make time available for you to be able to do that. Please do speak up and speak clearly because you are being recorded. What's your full name and your date of birth?
My name is Shotsie Michael Buck-Hayes, and my date of birth is October the 9th, 1995.
How far in school were you able to go, sir?
Some college, sir.
Are you able to read and write without any problems?
Yes, sir.
Sir, are you the person named in the 2 indictments charging you with attempted first-degree murder and aggravated malicious wounding?
Yes, sir.
Do you fully understand each of the charges against you?
Yes, sir.
Have you discussed these charges and their elements with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand what the Commonwealth must be able to prove before you could be found guilty of each offense?
Yes, sir.
Have you had enough time to discuss with your attorneys any possible defenses that you could have to the charges?
Yes, sir.
Have you discussed with your attorneys whether you should plead guilty or not guilty?
Yes, sir.
After that discussion, did you decide for yourself to plead guilty?
Yes, sir.
Are you entering these pleas of guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And because you are in fact guilty of these 2 offenses?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you are giving up or waiving your right to be tried by a jury?
Yes, sir.
You're also giving up your right to remain silent,
Yes, sir.
giving up your right to confront and cross-examine the witnesses against you,
Yes, sir.
and giving up your right to defend yourself.
Yes, sir.
You may also be giving up any rights that you have to appeal the decision of this court.
Yes, sir.
At the time of these offenses, were you on probation or parole or under a good behavior obligation to any court?
No, sir.
Has anybody connected with your arrest or prosecution, such as the police, the Commonwealth's attorney, or any other person, including your own attorneys, in any way forced you or threatened you or done anything to make you plead guilty?
No, sir.
Has anybody made you any promises if you plead guilty other than what Mr. Newman has said this afternoon? That
No,
is
sir.
to say that they agree not to prosecute you on the 3rd indictment.
No, sir.
Do you understand that the maximum punishment for attempted first-degree murder is 10 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $100,000?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that the maximum punishment for aggravated malicious wounding is life imprisonment and a fine of up to $100,000?
Yes, sir.
Have you discussed with your attorney the sentencing guidelines that may apply to you in these cases?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that the court is not normally required to follow the sentencing guidelines?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware that under current law, access to parole may be limited in Virginia?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that conviction for a felony could affect other rights that you might have, including the right to vote, the right to own or possess firearms, among others?
Yes, sir.
Are you a citizen of the United States?
No, sir.
Do you understand that conviction for these offenses may also affect your immigration status or your right to remain present in the United States?
Yes, sir.
Are you completely satisfied with the services of your attorneys?
Absolutely, sir.
Have they done everything you've asked them to do?
Yes, sir.
Have you entered into a formal written plea agreement with the Commonwealth Attorney?
No, sir.
Have you gone over the guilty plea form with your attorneys?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand the form?
Absolutely.
Are the answers in the guilty plea form and the answers that you've given here in open court true and correct?
Yes, sir.
Within the last 24 hours, have you taken any medications, consumed any alcohol, drugs, or anything else that could affect your ability to understand and participate in today's proceedings?
No, sir.
Do you have any questions you'd like to ask me before we go any further?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, the court finds the defendant's pleas of guilty are made freely, voluntarily, intelligently, with a full knowledge and understanding of the consequences will be entered of record in the case. Written questionnaire form will be marked as Defense Exhibit X. Mr. Newman?
Judge, the Commonwealth is going to do a mixture of a written summary. Attached to that summary are various documentation, including some separation agreement as relates to the defendant and his wife, medical records, medical summary of injuries of the victim, Mr. Vogler, as well as photographs throughout his time at the hospital in reference to his injuries, and photographs of him just taken last week in reference to showing his permanent and significant injuries, Judge. In addition to that, Judge, if I may have.
The summary and photographs, medical records, and so forth that are referred to by Mr. Newman will be collectively marked as Commonwealth's Exhibit 1 without objection.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay.
Judge, as you can see in the written summary, it was on July 30th, around 11:30 a.m., officers were called to 753 Main Street. The figure you're seeing here in the middle of the street is Mr. Vogler Blaze. That's how passersby would see him as he's running back to his office, already being set on fire. The next clip I'm playing is the apprehension or stop of the defendant.
Get out of the car! Door now! Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Hands up! Lay out on the ground.
Who's behind your back? Both of them. He still smells like gas.
This way, 377, suspect in custody.
Y'all just take him straight on.
I had sex with my wife over this one.
Go in and take him, I'll talk to it.
Take him where?
Yeah, I had sex with my wife.
Copy. Y'all want the vehicle?
And Judge, also in that vehicle, these are crime scene photos from that day. You can pull up. No, maybe not. Oh, there they are. That's some clothes left over in the bushes where Mr. Vogler was found by EMS in reference. Several passbyers stopped to try to give aid by putting water bottles on him. That is just where Mr. Vogler was found, outside his place of business. Inside, there's a pool of substance. It was sent to the lab. Certificate of analysis has been filed with the summary. It contains gasoline as well as an accelerant, I believe. I'll play clips later where the defendant admitted he put styrofoam in the gasoline, believing it would assist it to burn longer. And there's the blue. That's where that's what he used in reference to have the gasoline. That's what he had to dump on Mr. Vogler. That was found in the vehicle with him when he was stopped. Some of the gasoline still in it. That was collected, sent to the lab as part of the certificate of analysis showing that was in fact gasoline and it had some accelerant, Judge. The defendant was spoken to. I'm going to ask that Investigator Clay be allowed to take the witness stand to assist in the next part of the evidence, Judge.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence you give in the case now before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Investigator Clay, were you lead investigator as relates to these events back July?
Yes, sir, I was.
And as such, did you have an opportunity to interview the defendant, Mr. Buck-Hayes?
I did.
At first, obviously, Mirandize him.
Yes, sir.
My name is Sergeant Clay. This is Corporal Graves. Okay, we're with the investigation section of the Danville Police Department. Okay, I know that you have stuff you want to get off your chest. All right, but before you can even tell me anything, or I can tell you anything about what's going on, I gotta advise you of a couple things. Okay, it's your Miranda rights. All right. So before we ask any questions, you must understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions, and to have him or her with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any question if you wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you will still have the right to stop answering at any time. You also have the right to stop answering at any time if you talk to a lawyer. Do you understand those rights? Perfect, man. So
After Mirandizing him, officer, did he speak about what had just occurred that day?
He did.
What did he indicate?
He advised that he had set the individual on fire who had had an affair with his wife approximately 10 months prior to that interview.
I'll play that clip, Judge.
I'm trying to convey what's going on.
just okay.
My wife had an affair with Bushman myself fire.
Just, you said your wife had an affair with the guy that you set on fire?
Yes.
Okay.
And
How long ago?
that was about 10 months ago, I think.
10 months ago? Okay.
Yeah.
After that, did you have any conversations with him specifically as towards what transpired that morning
I did.
leading up to his contact with Mr. Vogler?
Yes, sir, I did.
And what was his response?
He described as having a phone call with his ex-wife, and during that phone call, he had felt rejected.
Play that clip, Judge.
And when me and my wife had a conversation today on the phone, and I was basically freaking out all night, and then we had a bad conversation. And
What was the conversation about?
I just believe so.
Yeah.
No, you're good. The conversation was like, I feel like I'm repeating myself. Like she said that I didn't love her, otherwise I wouldn't have made some mistakes that I made. I had a pornography addiction, and it made her feel like she had wasn't enough, or like she wasn't enough. And then me and her have pretty much PTSD, like pretty bad. And I was saying to her, I didn't understand how to love you properly, and it was just rejected, and I just lost my cool. So
Now, officer, did you go into any more detail in reference to when he said he lost his cool, what he did next?
He did.
And what was that?
He described retrieving a bucket, which was located in his room at that time. He had then gone to a gas station and purchased approximately $3 in gasoline, and he had then returned to, or he then went to Mr. Vogler's place of business.
What I did was there's a pile of rice in the basement, at the end of the basement next to my bed, because I had the rice in the bucket, and I poured the rice into a paper bag, and I went and I bought $3 gasoline, and I went to where Lee works, and I threw a bucket of gasoline on, and that was because he had sex with my wife.
Now, after that clip, did you go into any specific detail with him as relates to his specific intent as relates with Mr. Vogler?
I did.
And what did you ask him? What was his response?
I asked him if his intention was to go kill Mr. Vogler that day, and he advised that it was his intention to do that.
Shotsie, the biggest thing that, you know, I'm trying to understand is why you tried to kill him today, and you told me that. Was your intention to go kill him today, yes or no?
Yeah.
You went to go kill Mr. Vogler today?
Yeah.
And just to clarify, you went to go kill him because of his affair with your wife?
Did you get any more specifics with him as specifically what he did when he got there?
Yes, sir.
In what way?
He stated that he had arrived at Mr. Vogler's place of business, and he had entered the foyer area of the business which is where he was pacing around in the little hallway area of the building. Once he had finished pacing, he then knocked on Mr. Vogler's door. Mr. Vogler answered the door. He then threw the gasoline on him, and then he proceeded to chase him around the building. This chase then led into the street, which is where he eventually caught Mr. Vogler, and he set him on fire.
So when you came into the office, can you tell me just what happened when you went in there?
I walked through the office, not the office, into the foyer, and I paced, and my heart was pumping, and he opened the door, and I just threw it.
Where did you have the gasoline in?
The bucket.
Just a bucket?
The bucket in my car.
Okay, a bucket in your car. And you just threw it on him?
Yeah.
Then what happened from there?
I just chased him.
He ran out, you threw it on him, he runs out of
He ran through the building, and I chased after him, and then I just lit his shirt on fire.
Okay, where did that happen at?
That happened on the street.
Okay, on the street. But you just...
Did you go into more detail in reference to why he was angry at Mr. Vogler?
He did.
Oh, in what way?
He advised that his dream was to always have children, and in his mind, he believed Mr. Vogler was responsible and had taken his children's chance of existing away from him.
Was that because he and his wife were going through a divorce now?
Yes, sir.
I was so angry at him, and I felt like this morning, like, I knew I made mistakes, but I felt like he had taken, honestly, I really wanted to have children with my wife. I really felt like he had stopped my children from existing. So that's what was in my head today.
Was it at this time, did you ask more specifically as relates to the gasoline, if you used anything else?
I did.
What was the question, what was his response?
I'd asked him if he had put anything in the gasoline, such as an accelerant. He advised that he had put styrofoam in the gasoline, and when I asked why he had done that, he said that it would cause it to burn longer.
Can I ask a quick question? Yeah. 2 questions. There's like a goop where that bucket or something was. Did you put like an accelerant, like napalm or something in that bucket?
I put styrofoam.
Put styrofoam in it? Why?
Because I just thought that would make it go longer.
Yeah, make it burn longer. So like that melted goo stuff that's there, it's like styrofoam.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and the point of that was because you thought they would make the fire burn longer?
And finally, Detective, did you end with him asking as relates to what Mr. Vogler's response was in seeing him there?
I did.
And how was his response to that?
He advised that he was shocked to see him and that he was terrified.
That Mr. Vogler was terrified?
Mr. Vogler was shocked and terrified to see him.
The door. Describe what does he look like?
Like, he looked like Lee Vogler. I don't know what.
Or was he? Did he look happy?
Oh no, he was so shocked to see me.
So he looked. Would you call it shocked, scared? What would be the best way?
He was probably terrified. I told my partner, like,
So he ended that he was terrified.
Yes, sir.
I have no further questions for this witness as relates to the statement.
Cross
Judge.
examine.
So, Detective, Mr. Buck-Hayes was obviously cooperative with you, correct?
That's correct.
And when you read him his Miranda warnings, he freely waived those, correct?
He did.
And then he basically commenced to telling you all about the case and everything that you had found up to that point, correct?
He did.
He didn't hide anything from you, did he, that I can tell?
He did not.
Okay. And so he fully confessed to everything that happened and his events leading up to that as far as you knew at that time, correct?
He did.
So you could, I assume you would characterize him as polite and cooperative with you. Is that correct?
I would.
Okay. And I just want to get this straight so that it's in an order. He told you, basically from what you've testified to, he told you that he was upset that he'd had a phone call with his wife earlier that day, correct?
That day, he had gotten upset about a phone call that he had had. Yes,
That
sir.
he had had with his wife, and that he went and performed these actions on Mr. Vogler because he was upset because Mr. Vogler basically kept him from having children with his wife. Is that what he told you?
Correct.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, Investigator Flay. You may step down.
Just one quick
Oh,
follow-up.
okay.
Of course, he also told you any kind of affair was 10 months prior to this.
That's correct.
Thanks.
Okay, you can step down.
Thank you, sir.
The video clips will be admitted as Commonwealth's Exhibit 2.
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge. And with that, you should have that, the medical records, and the separation agreement showing that the defendant and his wife actually separated June of 2024, which has been almost a year prior to this. And then the divorce proceedings, Judge. With that, you already have the written summary. With that, that's the summary of the evidence for the Commonwealth, Judge.
All right, any evidence at this time from the defense?
Nothing from the defense at this time, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Buck-Hayes, if you'll stand, please. Mr. Buck-Hayes, based on your pleas of guilty, the evidence which the court has heard and reviewed, the court finds you guilty of attempted first-degree murder as charged in Indictment 1, and guilty of aggravated malicious wounding as charged in Indictment Number 2. The court will grant the Commonwealth's motion to null pros. Indictment 3 for armed burglary. Prior to imposing a sentence, the court will order a pre-sentence report, full or expedited.
Full pre-sentence report,
Full
Your Honor.
pre-sentence report. That'll take some additional time.
Yes, Your Honor.
Looking last week of June, 29 or 30.
I can make either of those work, Judge.
I actually have a two-day jury starting on the 29th, Your Honor. But you said that the week prior to, though, do you have any dates the week prior to, Your Honor?
I don't think Commonwealth's available the week prior.
I will be back, Judge. Let me see here.
Are you back the 22nd?
I'll just give you specific, give me 1 second. I am coming back the 21st, so I can make it the 22nd. 23rd is a little better, but, you know, I'll be back the 21st.
Your Honor, I have the 22nd, the 25th, and the 26th wide open.
I have the 25th wide open, Your Honor.
Well, I know we don't have any juries that day, so, June 25th
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
at 9 a.m.
Eyewitnesses are ready. June 25th?
Access to the calendar. Legal phone, I assume so, I'll be fine.
He said he should be fine, Judge.
Okay. June 25th, 9 a.m. Mr. Buck-Hayes, you'll need to stay in touch with your attorneys, provide them with any information that you want brought to the court's attention at sentencing. You're directed to cooperate with the probation officer who's gathering the information for your pre-sentence report. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel.
Thank you, Judge.